characters right, and so they throw accusations of OP or underpowered. The thing is most people don't realize that this game is pretty well balanced for the most part in a lot of different areas. I don't think you can have that burrito. That is my burrito. And off we go. Meteor Goliath. So they just got bird signals, so they don't really need to use the scanner for a little while until they get closer to here and then scan. Oh, and another bird, so definitely don't scan yet. So birds here and here. Okay, and here comes Knight. So Knight's going to be able to pin off the monster. I would definitely wait. Wait for your team to get in range, and then dome. Keep waiting, keep waiting. Oh, and there's a dome by support. Now dome. But, oh, don't dome yet. Wait for the heals. Wait, I would have waited for the monster to start running away and then dome. Not a bad place to fight. Use this area. This area, and all these high grounds. Stay from the high ground to high ground. That's what you want to do. Oh, the support's almost down. Stay out of the bottom ground. Oh, the bottom ground is so bad. Because you're just going to get juggled by a Goliath that way. You have to stay on the high ground against a Goliath. Yeah, kind of like what Senko's doing now. Senko, go to another high ground. And again. And that's what you do. You just hop from pillar to pillar. That's how you beat Goliath. Punished. Griffin? Nope. No harpoon? Where's the harpoon? Oh, missed the harpoon. So 1 bar of health for 1 strike. Not bad. Could have been a little bit better. Leone. What are you doing? Hi. It's a really good engagement, but what Senko was doing, that's what you want to basically be doing, but the entire time. And with all your team supporting you and Griffin, I think is one of the few people that could probably stay on the low ground to harpoon the monster off of cliffs. But that usually works better if you have a defensive and not an offensive support. Like a Hank or a Sunny. Welcome back, Corn. So monster almost ready to go ahead and evolve to stage 2. 4 minutes in, and that includes a dome fight. It's not bad. Let's say a 2-minute fight. So you're getting close to where you should be evolve ready. Yeah, you are so happy, aren't you? So happy. Woo! Woo! Hee! Nyum. Nyum. Hi. Well, what is it? Do you want my keys? Always the keys. Another thing, unless you're going for a perk, there's really no reason to eat food when you're full armor and ready to evolve. No rock throw. Interesting. It'll be interesting to see because this is the build I've been debating about trying out a bit more. But I still think having the 2 rock throw is a little bit better. But we'll see, especially with the upcoming changes for rock throws in general. Okay, so there is the dome by the assault. Assault can afford to be alone with the monster for a little while. Nice little barrage. Everybody grouped up. That was so much fire damage. This is okay. So this is a bad spot to be. You have to, the only place to engage is over here, and that's it. High ground. Yeah, be very careful you don't get charged off of there. So Knight doing a really good job of trying to be in the right place at the right time. But right now, it just, this is a really, yeah, they need it. The only place to fight is over here. But even then, it's not super, super good. Medic's back up, but Medic will probably not be able to save the Trapper in time. And Monster's going to get another strike for free and get away for free. Really bad for them to approach that dome from there. If you know you're on a bad side of a dome, you need to kind of go into the dome at a different angle, and the assault should have been hightailing it around. But don't walk into a dome like that. Like, that was a bad way of doing that. Did the monster destroy the other one? Oh, he did. Okay, you're gonna be like that. Torvald, man of molten steel. And Kala's like half robot, half invis. Hacks. And Kyra's a cheater. She's just an apparitional ghost. Nice. I think Griffin's the only normal-looking person. Okay, again, another immediate dome before your team is even in range. So this, the moral of this lesson is don't throw domes willy-nilly. Hey, I have my keyboard in my back. Nice harpoon. So, as Torvald, remember to try and lead your Leone, stop playing with my keyboard, please. Yeah. And then what happened? Okay, let's move that out of the way. How's that? How's that? Yeah. Is that funny? Yeah. Okay, so getting ready for stage 3 here. Wow, no rock throw at all. Yeah. Okay, where's the keys? Where'd you do with my keys? There. Oh, there you go. Okay. So what they should be, the medic and the support should be up on this hill, and then Electro Griffin just keeps on hooking them whenever a Griffin goes up there, because that's what's going to win. Unfortunately, they have an offensive support, so Griffin can kind of not really defend himself, but with a Hank and a Kyra up top, and a Griffin down below, the monster just gets yanked off to the top of there all the time. But yeah, everybody's just on the ground level against the Goliath, which is a big no-no. And you're just going to get charged, tumbled, and leaped all over the place. So you need to make sure you don't do that. No, that's not for you. And Falcon, welcome to the herd. I appreciate that follow. So GG. Now, the biggest thing was them just throwing the domes and not using the high ground. GG. Okay, so we'll go back into brief.
GG.
Let go of my keyboard.
Seconds for the game.
So the two biggest things that stand out from that game is don't throw the dome unless your team is like ready. If the dome does get thrown down and it's an awkward position like that second dome when Torvald threw the dome and then the rest of the team was outside, you guys all came in, but there was this small little death alley that he just kind of charged and fire breathed all of you back there. If you know that you're walking into a dome like that, just find a better spot. It's much better to take one down than have like everybody on the team in jeopardy, and then the monster can just pick and choose who he wants to go after. Hold on one second. Stop dropping my fucking keys. You drop them again, you're not getting them. On top of that, Senko was doing it right in the first dome when the support... Was it the support or the trapper? I think it was the support went down. Kyra was going and using the up ground. Like, all of you were on the ground floor with the Goliath way too much. The only person that should be down there is arguably the assault and or trapper. If you have a defensive support like either of the two Hanks or who else? Or a Sunny with a drone out, Griffin can afford to be down on the lower ground because he can keep on hooking people when Goliath tries to climb up after them. But what Senko is doing by hopping from one pillar to the next, that's exactly what you do to counter Goliath, because he has to use a traversal and a bunch of other stuff, and it slows down his damage rotation, and there's a really, really good chance that he's not going to be able to leap smash anybody because you can't really do it point blank without jetpacking straight up and avoiding it. But just be very, very careful with that. With the last engagement, when you knew the monster was stage 3 for the relay, the support and medic... Here you go. Let me find the keys for you. Hold on. There you go. You should have had the support and medic up on the high ground by that big giant wall, and then Griffin just keep harpooning the monster over and over again. And when the Goliath finally realizes that he should go after Griffin can go up to the high ground, not on that same wall where the others are, but off to the side. There's like a couple other areas you could be up from, and then you just go from that high ground to that high ground while you mitigate as much as possible. Especially when when he didn't have rock throw, because that would have been a lot of burst damage he wouldn't be able to get into his rotation.
With that last engagement, I was dropped right in front of Goliath. What should I have done right then?
I'm trying to remember.
I was Kala, and he was coming along the side of the power relay.
Was that at the beginning of the fight?
Yes. At the very beginning.
At that point, I probably would have just gone immediately for high ground, and then if I realized that he wasn't focusing me, then I could go ahead and do the armor reduction or just start doing mines. I could also put down a teleporter around the corner that's not going to get fire blasted, so that anyone on the ground that is stuck down there, like namely Griffin, could have run into it and then teleported away and then come back in a little bit later. But yeah.
Yeah, but basically I killed Torin before the battle even started, so not much for him to do.
Yeah. That being the case, though, with Kyra, you generally don't want to do too much moving around. Again, medics and supports should rarely, if ever, like leave their little nesting spots unless they're being focused, because it's much better to just keep on getting those, lead those grenades, lead, you know, throw it on and coordinate. Because if you're the one not moving, you can coordinate and say who the monster is focusing. So if the monster does stop, switch targets, somebody can call it out and let people know, because communication is very, very important, especially in combat when you're usually kind of more focused about surviving. You're not paying attention to what's going on to the rest of the team and things like that. So just be careful with that. Otherwise, yeah, just be very careful about don't throw a dome just because they're in range. And if you do, remember, it's always important to make sure that you get set up before you even start engaging the monster, or to buy time for your team to get there. And so, yeah, usually you don't want to throw the dome unless the monster is running away, or if you don't throw it now, you're not going to be able to catch up to him within the next, you know, 30 to 40 seconds. Those are usually the only times when it's worthwhile. But yeah, the big one was just when you threw that Senka dome with Torvald, and there was that back alley that was kind of just like, it didn't cut off that pillar enough, and then all of you just came in into the dome in this little narrow alley, and he just fire breathed and charged you all and just did a lot of damage. Other than that, lead targets a little bit better with Torvald with the mortars. And then also if the Goliath, like, the nice thing is that, like, a good composition against Goliath is you have the support and medic up on the high ground, you have the trapper sometimes, and the assault on the low ground. The nice thing about Torvald being on the low ground is if the monster's focusing you, then that's fine. You have your shield and you have a medic that's not being focused. You can live quite a long time, so you can just kind of shoot him in the face as necessary. If the monster's ignoring you and going after somebody else, the moment the monster heads towards another cliff or a pillar, if you throw those mortars, they're all going to land right when he gets there, because it cuts the distance in half, because the mortars slow down when they go from the arc, but when they're going up into the air and when they're landing, they're faster. So if you're like below him and you're shooting up and over, it's going to blast him really, 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 really quickly. And other than that, I think otherwise that was pretty good. I didn't see anything else unusual. But yeah, good harpooning by Knight. You were doing a really good job of keeping Goliath off. The moment that you realize that he's chasing or going after you, like, always try and keep 50% of the tank just in case, unless you absolutely need to get a clutch hook. But once you notice that he's on you, just head to high ground and then go from there. Okay, we'll go ahead and do